Hello, it's Sidney, and today I have a question for you. Who is the one person in your life who never ever leaves, who's always there for you, who's gonna be with you no matter what happens? They'll never ever leave. They'll always be there no matter what you do. They can know all your deepest, darkest secrets and still love you. They're capable of that. Who is this person? Well, why don't you take a look in the mirror sometime and find out? Because you are the only person in your life who's always going to be there. Frankly, if you weren't there, then that's... well. So you are the one and only person who's always going to be in your life. Nothing can take you away from yourself. So the relationship with yourself is the number one relationship in your entire life. The relationship you have with yourself is going to affect how you have relationships with everything else in your life. Other people, other beings, other things. All those relationships are affected by the relationship you have with yourself. How able you are to be loving towards yourself is how loving you're able to be towards other people. The things that you reject in yourself, the things that you don't want to see in yourself, are the things that you're going to judge and reject that you see in other people. And any of the nasty ways you're treating yourself, that same nasty treatment is what you're going to be bringing into your life and accepting from other people. Not consciously, obviously. No one wants to be abused, but that's what happens when the relationship you have with yourself, first and foremost, isn't in a good place. So we have to get this right. And today I'm going to share with you some really simple things that you can do in order to help you grow that relationship with yourself and make it really nice and solid. Okay, let's go. The first thing I want to talk about is forgiveness. And this is to do with forgiving yourself, first and foremost. You can forgive other things, but since we're talking about your relationship with yourself today, this is forgiving yourself and forgiving the things that you've done in the past that you're not proud of or that you feel guilt and shame around. You're forgiving yourself for these things. It's giving yourself permission to be human and to know that while you may have done something in the past that you judge as being wrong or a screw up, now that you know that you don't want to do that again and you're doing the best you can not to bring that into your life again. That's great. That's great. And just spend a little bit of time within yourself and finding those parts of you in your mind and in the feelings you create in your body. Find those bits. Find that sensation. Find the part of you that still feels the guilt and the shame and the regret and that you just haven't forgiven. You want to find those parts and acknowledge that experience that you're having of feeling guilty or feeling ashamed or feeling like you did something wrong. And then you just kind of give it a big hug and let it know that it's okay. It's okay. Everyone messes up. It's not making whatever happened okay. It's saying this happened. It's in the past now, but we're moving forward, and that is what is most important. Second thing I want to talk about is, I put it down when I was writing the notes for this as like forgiveness 2.0, because now we want to talk about gratitude. And for me, I was doing a bit of a gratitude exercise for myself. And so the question was, what are you grateful for, right? So I'm thinking, okay, what am I grateful for? And I'm just letting whatever come in. And what came in was that I'm grateful for myself. I was seeing as like a stream of thought and emotion coming in. I was seeing different points in my life, different ways in which I've been angry in the past or that I screwed up in the past, and different ways in which I perceived other people to be hurting me. You know, points in my life where I felt like I was the victim or I couldn't do anything, or where I was really angry and I just was mean to other people, or all the nasty stuff that you wouldn't normally want people to know about. And I just felt this immense gratitude for all that stuff. because those things helped me grow. Those were the things that at that point of time I was so frustrated about and so ashamed of experiencing or so ashamed of having in myself. And it just created all this discord inside because I didn't like what I was seeing in myself. And I was looking back on all of this stuff, and I just felt so grateful. So grateful for everything, for the things that were happening around me, for the things that I was creating at the time, and the way that I thought and felt about them. All of it. I was so immensely grateful for that, because those things made me stronger. And those things gave me an understanding that I otherwise would not have access to without those experiences themselves. Of course, I'm not intentionally trying to make my life difficult or anything, but it's an understanding that the difficulties that I've been through, those things happened for my benefit, and I'm so grateful for that. The turmoil that I have inside and that I have had inside, those things are things that are going to make me stronger or that have made me stronger. And so all the stuff that you would otherwise feel is wrong or that needs to be forgiven, it's another level of actually being grateful for all those things happening in the first place. So it becomes a matter of the things that you would normally find difficult or that you don't like about what you're facing right now, what you're experiencing right now, the challenges that you have internally and externally, those things are overcomable. Those things are the things that you are going to grow from and you are going to get stronger from. And behind all of this is the basis of knowing that you are more than just your body, your mind, your personality. All the stuff that represents you as a human being isn't ultimately what you are. What you are is the awareness and the force behind that, the force that gives you life. And that thing doesn't have the challenges that you have. Well, that's you, but that doesn't have the challenges that you have. You grow stronger through your challenges. And in a sense, it's not growing stronger because that strength isn't there in the first place. Rather, it's a matter of uncovering your true strength. You don't know how strong you are. And you don't know how good you can be until you're faced with those challenges that you feel a distance from, that you don't like, that you don't want to look at, that you don't want to deal with, and that you don't want to acknowledge in yourself. When you can acknowledge those things, the parts that you don't want to acknowledge, and feel grateful for them, the amount of love you're going to be able to feel for yourself is going to start pouring out like nothing you've ever experienced. And the funny thing is that that is your natural state. It's basically like you're unclogging a tap that is just gushing out water ordinarily, but it's all clogged up. And when you just take out the clogged bits, you realize that the natural state is for it to flow. So that is the gratitude or forgiveness 2.0. It's like you forgive and you feel grateful for it. So that's the second level. The next thing I want to talk about is your self-care. And this is basically creating a practice around looking after yourself. When you have a relationship with another person, whether that's a platonic or romantic relationship, two things you're definitely going to have to do is to give that person time and attention. Like, you have to spend time with them, and when you spend time with them, you have to be there with the person. Otherwise, they're not going to feel like you really care. And the same thing happens with ourselves. We don't pay ourselves enough attention. I know that sounds really weird because of, people sometimes say this generation or something, we're very self-obsessed and we like to take photos of ourselves and etc., etc. But that isn't paying attention to yourself or self-care. That is another way of, that can be another way of hiding hiding behind actually not feeling that great about yourself, right? You're putting up this front of like, look at me, look how nice my life is, and then inside you're like, there's not really much going on. Self-care is spending time with yourself, being with yourself, not thinking about anything else. You're not trying to impress anyone. There's nothing to do, just with yourself. And just feeling who you are, feeling what you are. And for this, you're also going to want to have a practice. Nothing really changes over time if we don't do little things consistently over a long period of time, because that's what our life is made up of. Short periods of time built up. So you have minutes, you have hours, you have days, you have weeks, you have months, you have years. So we want to do little things that are going to give you the most bang for your buck. And for me, what that looks like is that I have time for myself in the morning and I have time for myself in the evening. So even if the rest of whatever happens during the day turns into complete chaos, I am with myself in the morning and I am with myself in the evening. And just being. I cannot tell you how important that is, to spend time with yourself. Not worrying about other things or what you're meant to do, but just being. That is just amazing. Do that for yourself. Be with yourself. Then there's the gratitude and forgiveness, which are things that I don't do daily, but I'll do at least once a week. You can do those things daily. I find gratitude is more of something I do daily, and forgiveness is kind of like when, as and when. Yes. Okay. So that's self-care. Think about different ways that you can treat yourself. What can you do for yourself that allows you to connect more strongly with the force that is your awareness, that is your life force. Okay. Another thing I want to mention is white space throughout your day. That's the last thing I want to talk about, is white space throughout your day. And what this is moments in the day where you're not going to do anything. It's just blank. You're not doing anything, you haven't planned to do anything, it's just empty. Just do nothing. Just do nothing. Why do you want to do nothing, Sidney? Why should I do nothing at different points in the day? Well, because for one thing, you're going to get a lot more done if you have time periods where you're not allowed to do anything. Because then you have to be smarter about what you're doing. You can't just sort of meander along and sort of work and then sort of not and then sort of work some more and not really take any proper breaks, but at the same time not really do any proper stuff, like you're never focused. This is going to help you focus. And another thing is that in that white space itself, you're coming back to yourself constantly throughout the day instead of just getting swept up in a tidal wave of whatever's happening. Has this ever happened to you? Because it has happened to me. And when you get caught up in that tidal wave activity, it's like, okay, I gotta do this, and next I gotta do that, and then this, and I have to deal with this person, and that person, And then you can very easily get caught up in really random, crazy stuff that doesn't actually matter to you. And when you take that white space to do nothing, what's important naturally returns to you, returns to your awareness. Also, you might just get hit by inspiration. I know this having this white space around, that is when you get inspired. Because you're letting your mind rest. And when you let your mind rest, it churns over the things that you're going through, and you get interesting connections between the different things that are going on in your head. So you might just get some inspiration as a bonus. So that is all I have to say right now for your self-love. It is very important. Please, 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 at least spend time with yourself, doing nothing in particular. Why don't, you can go on a walk with yourself. Spend time with yourself, really. Like you're spending time with another person, and appreciate that person. Have a little crush on yourself every once in a while. Find all the things that are really nice about yourself. Let those things grow. Nurture those things. And the last thing I want to say that really is going to help you out is just give yourself permission to be human. We mess up. We do dumb stuff. We aren't logical at all. You may know the right thing to do, and then you still don't do it. Welcome to the club, the human club. So that's it. That's the video. Self-love. There you go. I hope that whatever happens for the next week, that you choose to have a good week. And if you liked this, leave a thumbs up and subscribe and comment if you want to say anything in particular. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I will leave all the links around, like subscribe here, and then if I have relevant videos, I'll put them around. And thank you so much. That's everything. Bye-bye. I'll see you in my next video.